Okay, good morning, good day, everybody. It's been a while since I've shown you something, since I've streamed, but I've made some progress lately. I mean, I was busy with doing other things, but now I've made some progress looking back into it, and I was actually able to get the game back on the road. So, it's been so long, maybe a short reminder as to what I was actually doing. So, my focus for this stream is to develop a game using Unity, and the game is what I call Pixel Painter Challenge. So it's a puzzle game. Puzzle game, well, puzzle, yeah, it's a puzzle game, but not in a traditional sense. It's more like you have this grid system where you have tiles. You have to paint the tiles with a certain amount of strokes, and that's it. In the beginning, I was struggling very hard with actually getting the tiles to render using a tilemap, but now I was able to do it. So I got the basics going, and this is how it looks now. The essential part is that you use the get component part to actually get the tilemap which is attached to. I will show how it looks in Unity itself, but my Unity is updating, so I have to wait a bit longer for it to get ready. And so actually it's very simple how to do it with the scripts. You just get your component tile map, you load your actual tile, and then you just use the set tile. So that all works nice and well. But now the next thing that I have to see is how am I going to render the difference between a tile you've colored in a certain color and what the actual color should be. For instance, if the designated, the goal color, so to say, of the tile is red and you color it blue, then it needs to be visually clear that that tile is wrong. And I thought about it, and I think I can do it with two layers, where yeah, you have like an alpha, no, an alpha, like a kind of a transparent layer on top of it. But I think that's gonna make things very unclear, confusing, where the tile actually is blue but has like a red uh, thing on top of it, which is transparent. It's not gonna be very clear that actually should be red. In my opinion, I haven't tried it yet, but I don't think it will be very clear. Another option actually, what I want to try now is using the border around it. I think with a small border around it, that will be very clear that the tile has like blue content, but the border around it will be red. You will see it's wrong. And red not being here a color to indicate that it's an error, but red being the color of what it should be. So I think it's pretty nice. I was going to do borders no matter what, I think. I need to do borders no matter what, because if I render this, yeah, you don't see the difference between the tiles. And I think with the tiles being, or with the borders being the color you have to color them, I don't need to make the distinction, because bordering tiles that have to be the same color, yes, there will be no distinction in where one tile ends and where the other one starts, but I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I can still introduce a small gap between them to really make it more pixelated, and I think that might be a good idea, but I'll have to see how it looks like. So, and I think I might actually, I'm not sure if I can do that with Unity itself, where I can just say like, okay, look, I have tiles, but just put a spacing in between or put a border around them. I will have to look into that. Otherwise, I have to change my tile maps a bit, where yeah, my border tiles then either have a gap between them, or that they just have a small black border around them. Yeah, that's something I will have to see. Okay, so that's where we are. So the script actually is very easy, as you can see. Um, yes, there's something I have to fix because that's what C Sharp's like. You have namespaces everywhere because C Sharp is an extension of C++. It's been a while. And so this is actually just me rendering the actual grid starting from 0 up to 10. So I'll have a 10 by 10 grid. I've also made some changes to the grid to make it a bit bigger, and the tiles a bit smaller. That's all fine. And so technically this actually should not be, actually what I should do is to make it good, I always start from minus, because my coordinate system, of course, we have this is not my formatting. Is that my formatting? That's not how I do it. What? That's weird. This is, I guess, C++ formatting. I'm gonna configure my formatting because that's how I normally write my code. At least in Java it is. And I think that's also makes a lot more sense. I used to be a big fan of the brackets on the next line because then you have indeed the very, very, very clear visual indicator. But I've changed over time because one, it's kind of ridiculous. Because you always have the extra line, so it makes your code longer, more things to visually look into, and more difficult to actually get a grasp of how everything looks. And yeah, the visual indicator in modern IDEs is not necessary. And if you want to know what this one actually closes, you just scroll up and you see what it actually closes. There is no point why I would have to scroll up to look for the closing bracket and then go on higher to see what it actually closes. I mean, I can see here, okay, yes, it closes here, but what does it close? The 4. If it's like this, I can immediately see, okay, what does this one close? Ah, it's for this for loop. This one, ah, it's for this for loop. This one, ah, it's for this method. So, but I have to configure my formatter. That's something I will look into as well. Because I actually don't know which formatter is being used. You can do that. Anyway, format from a document with C Sharp. Visual Studio is what fuck, why do you want? Okay, apparently I think I cancelled the visual. Oh shit. That was apparently my Unity. That was asking me to install Visual Studio, and I said like, why do I need Visual Studio? I use Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio. Looks like the Unity thing is written on top of Visual Studio. Interesting, interesting. I must say, I find it rather annoying how Unity works with their versions, because I'm still using a bit of an older version now, not even the latest one. So once you start a project in a certain Unity version, I started in 2022 3.19 F1, and so now I'm updating to 2023 3.25 F1 because on a different machine I installed that version instead. And so the problem is that it's a patch update from 19 to 25, but you have to install the whole new editor. You have to install everything again. You can't easily just bump up your projects. It always gives this annoying thing saying like, oh, no, your editor version is not correct. And no, it really affects your project quite a lot, which is weird because I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, the editor should not have such a big impact, I feel, on the whole project. But okay, never mind. So, formatter, I have to look. Will it suggest me something? No. Okay, never mind. So, anyway, the goal of today is to see if we can render the border and the content at the same time. The question will be, can you overlap multiple tiles? For instance, can I do tilemap.set tile, and then here, new vector 3 int x, y, yeah, z of course. 10, and then here say border. I'm gonna call it fill, I think. Doesn't work, but that's okay. Doesn't have to work yet. But this is the idea then. Also thinking whether it's set, if it comes, does it become positive when it comes toward you, or does it become negative? That's going to be important as well, because maybe I have to change this then to a negative number. Maybe I also want to draw the border first and then the fill color. Again, doesn't really matter too much, but I think it is better to first render the border and then fill it in case somehow you would see a visual difference. You would first see the border showing up and then the fill content. I think that would look nicer than immediately fill. But so the question is, can I do this, or will this fill color completely overwrite the border. So do they stack or do they not stack? And since they're, I don't know the API that much, but since there only seems to be one, there is a set tiles. So that actually could mean that it's possible, which would be very good because I was already worrying that that would not be possible. And then I actually have to work with two grids or two tile maps on top of each other. So one would be at the x0, one would be at x z10, z0 and z10. And then one would actually render the borders. The other one would render the fill color. And then if you click, and the question is on which would you actually click on? Probably the one in front. And which one would be the one in front, the border or the fill? That's a good question. Makes more sense that it would be the fill, I guess. Simply because that's the one you're actually interacting with. That's when you have to fill the border, can stay the border. But then to check whether it's correct or not might be difficult as well. Although probably somewhere you would have to read which one it should be, and then both scripts actually would have to read the same file because the border tile map would have to read it to render itself, and the fill one, the one which you interact, that one would actually have to read the exact same file and thing to see whether your color is correct or not for your winning conditions and whatever. Then again, maybe the script actually will have to be somewhere else to decide whether you win or not. That I don't know yet. I'll have to see how that one works out. But yeah. Okay. Okay. So my Unity is starting up, but it's my computer is a bit old. It's a bit slow, but it will be fine. In the meantime, I can probably already open the Unity tilemap API. To verify whether it actually really has a get or a set tiles. It might actually be that a set tiles is more for filling multiple tiles and not so much for having the same tile. Yes, okay, I'm afraid this indeed will not work because the set tiles, according to the documentation, take an array of vectors and then array of your tiles, and it will just fill them up in those positions. So it's just a better, it's a more convenient way to set multiple tiles. So this is what I'm doing here, setting each tile by looping over it. Yeah, that's possible, but you can more easily, you can also just create an array using these vectors and the XY coordinates, and then just an array of the same thing. I don't think it actually is going to be more efficient. It depends a bit on how they implemented everything, but I can't think of a way for me to make the array very quickly. I would have to loop over these variables, or I have to loop over it anyway, to actually create the array, or both arrays. So I might as well just do individual calls. So, and what if you look at Unity, set multiple tiles at the same location, coordinates. How to place multiple times at a time? Yeah, no, that's not the correct one. Huh? Let's just I think we'll probably have to do it with multiple tile maps. That's okay. That's okay. It kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense, but we will see what it does once my Unity starts up. And then border, this would be tile border. Okay, my unity is here. Okay. It's a bit in an annoying spot. Not sure why it's there. Okay. Yeah, okay. Monkey. So, as you can see, I have here the map, the tile map. It seems my camera is a bit off. I'm not sure why my camera is a bit off. Okay, it's also a bit annoying that I can't see the X coordinate system. Maybe it just seems off because my Z axis is weird. It's outside. Anyway, if I run this, I hope, since I didn't save this one yet, it will be fine. So if I run this, you will see. Voila. So now you just have a complete white thing. And you actually can't even tell that these are different tiles, different pixels. And that's my problem. That's what I want to fix. That's why I say, okay, I need a border. And that's why I've already gone ahead and I've added sprites. And my sprites are divided into borders, cells, and yeah, this is the old tiles, some stuff. You can see that there's a small difference because I have an alpha channel around it for the borders. That's just to avoid problems with order overlap. So that's all fine. So I went for the default colors. You have black and white, and then you have the RGB colors. That's just for now. I'll have to look into it. I'm actually interested also to know whether I can create colors on the spot. It's a bit interesting to actually see how resources create. Then I have to do 2D. I think it's a tile palette, rectangular. Okay, and here I say border, and then with border, I think I can just take. I can just select this, and can I not? Resources. Okay, I have to open this borders. Take. Can't drag and select borders. What the hell is going on here? I thought I could just. Oh, yeah, come on! I've done this recently. This is a border layer one. Aha! Wait! I think I can drop them up here. Yes. What's this layer one? Just delete it. Is this what I actually need? Now I'm confused. I thought it looked different. Where is my towel? I seem to have lost my actual towel palette. Tile palette, yes. Well, it is tile palette. Okay, then I guess it will be okay. Open border again. Then we're just gonna see that this works. It's also weird that it doesn't actually create. It creates an animation. Why does it create an animation? I want to just drop this one. I am not Indian. No. I think you're the first person who actually mentioned something about me being Indian. Typically, I get more. I get comments about other nationalities, but Indian not. This is not how to do a tile palette. Annoying. 2D tile palette, rectangular. I see. Border. I'm actually not sure if I actually really need a tile palette. You know what? I'm just gonna do create individual tiles myself. Tiles. Rule tile. Okay, so this actually seems more complicated than I thought it would be. I don't understand why my tile palette seems different all of a sudden. These are my sprites, and I should be able to just drag them in. See, this is one tile. Wait, let me look at my file system, because I'm pretty sure I did some changes, and I think I might have messed something up. I mean, I'm pretty sure I should have. It's not in sprites. Resource. Oh, see, there's a tiles.meta, but it could also just be because it is a. That's because it's a folder. Everything in every folder might just have its own .meta file. Yeah, okay, that's not gonna be it. So how come my border looks so weird? I really thought I can drag them in, but they get positioned really weirdly. And normally if I do this, it should actually create me a tile, which it doesn't. Also not sure why it matters where I put this. Okay. Confusing. Okay, delete again. Palette to window. Okay, component. Game object to the object. Tile map. But I make a tile map differently, which is weird. Boards. It's exactly you can delete. I want to delete board. Border. Since border is gone. Okay. Window to detail palette. Okay, this one looks better. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, task. Create new palette. This is gonna be called border. Create. I don't see. Okay, yes, here. Select folder. Border. Confusing. I don't know why there are so many different ways to do it here. Black. And then yes, 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 it creates this. Okay, assets, sprites. No, this one goes into not assets, sprites, but assets, resources. Oh damn, I definitely have to make a new folder. Border, borders, borders. I've named the other one also borders. So it's black, blue, green, but the location doesn't matter. My computer is struggling with for no particular reason. Okay, red and white. Probably should have done white first, I mean black, white, and then the colors, but who cares? As I said, the order doesn't matter. And I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to call this one cells. I've called it cells because I didn't want to call it fills. I mean, that's weird. Cells, not in borders, but here on top. I might actually have to move this one as well, but we'll see. We do the exact same thing, and black, save, no, resource, no borders, new folder borders, and this is cells. Save. Wait, I'm gonna do white. Nah, yeah, I'll do white first on this one. Why? Can I delete this one? The style of the cells. Yeah, okay, right, of course you made it in the wrong one. Cells. Yeah, this one I have to delete. Delete. Is it automatically deleted? Oh damn, it has a reference to it. How do I delete it here as well? I'll just override it. Pretty sure if I do this, it will be fine. Okay, so this is completely different order. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Samples and reason. Okay. So this is my tile map. I'm probably have to go change it then. But anyway, so what does this allow us to do now? If you have our script, remember we have tiles white, which actually refers to this one. Now we can say borders. And I'm going to go for red. And then I have tile fill. Yeah, that's a pretty stupid suggestion. That's cells. I'm going to go for white because this one is not needed. So, okay. So if I run this now, I should see. Well, I mean, what should I see? That's a question. I hope to see red boxes with white content, but it could very well just be white content with no borders. And then we know. Okay, so it does seem to work. But in a very... Okay, that's because of the... I don't know how it looks for you guys, but it really looks pretty awful to me. And that's, I think, because of the scaling. But if I do it on a different... if I scale, if I zoom in, it's actually not... Okay, it's not... that doesn't work. So it looks horrible. It does work. It shows white. If I change the cells white to black, for instance, I save. Then I probably have to start it again because it's only on the start that actually does this. You will see that it creates a red border and black content. The only bad thing is that there is some serious well, not anti-aliasing, it just filters it out, and that's probably because oh, here you can see it too as well. Oh, this actually looks a bit better, but this is not something you actually want to have on your game. I mean, that looks horrible. I think the tile maps are just too small, and that could be because I'm too zoomed in. This is how it actually looks like. So I was hoping to have a lot of tiles, but so it turns out that that's not really possible. I mean, just for the sake of saying it, this is a 20 by 20, well, 21, I guess. From, no, it should be 20 by 20 because it's strictly smaller than 10. So we started off at minus 10, then we go all the way up to 10, but not including 10. So it means you go 10 to 0, it's 10 and then another 9, I think. No, it's exactly 20. It is exactly 20. So this is a 20 by 20 grid. which is not that big. I mean 20 by 20. But so maybe I have to change my camera a bit so it zooms in a bit more. And so negative is definitely the correct one. So this, the border actually should be on the back. So this should be -1, I guess. Let's change the camera. -7. Oh wait, I have to stop this one first as well, otherwise it doesn't take effect. Yes. So -5, and now we'll have to see. Aha, that's interesting. So the border cannot be on the back because it will be overwritten with the fill color, even though the fill, my cells, they also have a small border around them. And so all those things I can actually do change the color. But I don't know what it actually does. Because I mean, can I reset this? This is an alpha channel. I think probably it will take effect on the white one. Yes. Oh my god. Oh. So I actually don't really need all of these sprites. I can just go with one and then just set the color in my program itself. Oh, genius. Okay, so that's an optimization that I can do as well. So instead of having to keep track of all these tiles myself, all these resources, I can just have one border, one cell, and then it's easy, and I can put them in the same tile map. I don't need to separate folders. Tiles can completely go away and delete. Yes. It's also very interesting that indeed, if you see, there actually is nothing. It's just a folder. Tiles can go away. It's really interesting though that how changing it from -1 or from a positive number to a negative number, all of a sudden only the outer edge is visible. I'm trying to understand how come. I mean, minus means it should be in the front. Now it should be in the back. How come if I put it in the front, I put my border in front and it doesn't work? Unless, of course, I'm understanding this incorrectly and minus is in the back. But even if it's in the back, it should not do this because I mean, like I have an alpha layer bit behind it. And why else would this work? So that's confusing. My camera also doesn't really seem to do much, which is weird. Because that's how I actually configured. Ah, here I have the side, I think, of this one, no? Ah, the minus, yes, okay, I remember. Now this will not work, because now I'm at the same level as my tile map. Well, that's actually a very good observation as well. So I have to set to a certain minus level. And this indeed should probably... What if I put my fill at 0 and I take my border at 1? I mean, it is visible. Everything is visible. So that means that the camera definitely has to be in front of my tile map. So it means negative is in front. Because if I change this to 10, positive 10, what happens? I probably see nothing because now I'm behind my tile map. Correct, so I'm behind my tile map. So the negative and positives are exactly how I think they're working. Negative is in front, so in this direction, if you have the axis, and this is negative, so I'm in front, and that's positive. If I put something at 1, so the fill should be behind it. Maybe I do have to then render the fill first. Maybe there's some unspoken rule of it. Maybe this is just a render issue, a render thing, and it's not really how it's supposed to be made. Okay, I do the render border first. I do this at, I say 10. The fill can go at 0. I'm really curious whether this actually have impact on other things as well. As in, like, I do an update of the fill color. Of course, I will only ever update the fill color, never the border. Whether I would cause an issue as well. Okay, the camera is still actually quite big. 14. Let me see how many do I have? It's quite a lot still. There's also a thing I want to have a square, but it shouldn't fill the whole screen. And so my lines are still annoying. So this is the size of a pixel, which is really, really small. So I think maybe I really have to go for a very, very tiny one. So instead of 20, maybe go for 16. That will, of course, limits the size of the paintings I can make. 16 is not that big. But if I make it too small, then of course I can't see anything anymore. Those are things I just have to play with. Okay, changing the tiles also doesn't really seem to make much difference. I don't know why that is the case. But you will see that if I make it smaller. The thing also is, if I always want to keep it a square, which I'm not sure if I want to do, but I think it's going to look better. Gives me more spacing around the edge as well. Then see, it becomes smaller, smaller, smaller. This actually should not become crit x and crit y, but just crit size. That's 6. Let's do that immediately. So crit size equals 6. So now I only have one variable to update. Much better. But so the question is, this is still horrible, the looks of it. So what if I change my camera? I actually don't think it's really an issue of the camera. I think it's really just an issue of the tile map. My tiles are just too small. I can make my tiles bigger doing this, and that already starts to look better. There is some distortion on the edges. I'm not sure why. Is this the correct number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. How come I have 23? What? That's interesting. Int count equals 0. Count plus plus. Also, one of the interesting things to know, no, log.db. Log.dot. Debug.log. Okay. Interesting. One of the reasons why I was getting confused is probably if I do this. I'm going to show you. Debug.log. I'm coming from a Java world, and a Java world, if I log whatever something, it will log me always something. So this would log me an address of the component of the variable, and whatever, it would log something. So I would know it. The only reason it would log nothing, it would actually finds nothing, and even then it would log null, null. In C#, C++ maybe as well, that seems to be not the case. Although actually this seems to be the case. No, it's not. I mean, like, this is very confusing for me because this is the name of the. Okay. I think I mistakenly take this as the name of, like, the variable. Oh, this name is variable. Yeah. 144. So it does do 144, which is correct. That's 12 times 12. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Weird. Okay. Tile fill even. I have a couple of colors, so we can try to figure it out. Cells red, so blue cells white. And I can say if x two. This actually is in my case I don't really care about it, but there's a very fun problem with this statement, and that is with negative numbers. And actually I might run into this. So you can see it. So by actually no, I think I did it the correct way. Equals. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So the even will get fill even. I start off at -6, so the first one should be white, and I've named apparently fill event instead of fill even. That's okay. We're just trying to figure stuff out. But what is my script doing? Okay, so the first row gets, it also becomes narrower and narrower. X, Y. Style, X, Y. What the hell is this? I don't understand what this is doing. It seems to become more narrow towards the center. But anyway, it's now completely position of the tile on the tile map. Yeah, that should just be X, Y. It's an integer, so it can't be a problem. Is this not modulo in C sharp? C sharp modulo. Modulus operator. The remainder. If the remainder by division of 2 is 0. Yeah. Confusing. It does render my grid correctly, but it only does X. Huh. Okay, this is fun. Well, fun debugging. It's not too fun, but -6, -4, -2, 0, 2, 4. Yeah, 6 of course not included. Yes, because then you would have to go one higher. So it does work. It just doesn't show. Why is this one still black then? No, I'm going to XY, otherwise it might be confusing. Only one string, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, plus, and I assume I can do like in Java. I can make it a bit fancy. I haven't found a way yet to actually debug my scripts really properly without. Unless you think, no, it can't be. Yeah, it's not because of the border. What if I do the border away? I'm thinking maybe the alpha layer messes stuff up. Anyway, so I was saying I haven't found a way yet to actually debug this. I mean, like I can put breakpoints everywhere I want. It doesn't actually trigger them. So yeah, that's a bit confusing. So what is it saying? It prints very nice out. Even, -4, -4, odd, -3, 4. Yes. Even, so we're also painting in columns. X, is that correct? X, Y. I'm looking over the X first. Minus 5, 4, minus 4, 4, minus 3, 4, minus 2, 4, minus 1, 4, 0, 4. This is X. So I've painted, no, I'm doing in rows. Wait, what's my axis again? Where's my coordinate system? Can I see my coordinate system somehow? Here. This? Which one is this? That's my X. So that's definitely correct. That's my X. This should be my X. So I'm looping over row based. So I start off at Y. Y actually minus here on the bottom. And you can see that if I do this, then the bottom part of the screen should have been filled because this is 0, 0, this is minus, this is positive. So the bottom should be filled. Is that correct? Let's see. Yes, see, the bottom is filled. That's I mean, like, it all works exactly as I expected. And then it still says even, odd, even, odd, even, odd. So it does do everything correctly. Even, odd, even, odd, even, odd. But for some reason, it only paints the -6 white. All other cases, it's just black. Okay, what if I take x from 0 to grid size? Will it then also render the first, so being 0, as white and the rest black? It does. What if I start at 1, which is an odd number? Does it then do only the first row? Well, not the first column, but like the first black and then white and then all black? No, then it does. What the hell is going on here? How can this be explained? So now it is black, white, 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 black. I'm starting to think is being confused with. Am I confused with the axes? No, huh? Why could I be confused? No, because we saw it works correctly. This is all y. This is all x. This is also x, y, z. What if I change the y to. If I do just 0, then I overwrite it. Then it's probably better to also comment this one out. Otherwise it's going to be really confusing. So now I have only a single line of x's, but then I can see whether my even, odd works. So around the center I should now have a single line, which should be alternating between white and black. Interesting. If I add this, why are my oh my god, could it be? Nah, it can't be. I'm thinking maybe my tile map is too small compared to my actual tiles. Could that be? That actually could very well be the reason also why I see the overlap. Because this is not, I mean, like, this is how it thinks of as the size of one block. And I just completely overlap them. Oh my god, that's annoying to debug, but hey, I think I've got it. So the problem is that if I say, for instance, fill dot, does it have a get get size? Can I not get? Okay, I have no idea how to do it. But so anyway, the problem, or at least what I think the problem is right now, is that my tile map has a certain size. My tiles have a different size. Maybe it's because I've done the scaling. Maybe that's something I should not have done. No, the scaling doesn't seem to make much difference. Chunk, modes, mask. It's all correct, it's all correct. So I still think it is because my cells, they have a certain size. I probably can even show it. If I zoom in a bit. Maybe I can't show it. Window to the tile palette. I have the cells. Okay, I also just realized you actually don't see the pop-up screen. Okay, next time maybe I'm just gonna show my whole screen. See if I can do that because this seems to be confusing and annoying. But so I can brush. Aha, see? Oh my god, yes, that's makes it pretty obvious what the issue is. I thought that a single tile would always fill exactly one block, but my tiles are so big that they fill a 3 by 3. But that one I think I can actually easily modify now. Can I not say how size it is? Flood fill continuous only. Lock Z position, yes, that's okay. Okay. Problems I actually don't know how to get my sprite cells. Why is that here? Why is it on resources? See, that's why I don't get. Did I delete my borders? Oh, I deleted my borders palette as well. Okay, so this is wrong. This should actually be at resources. See, and this is the view I had earlier, and which was really confusing me because I couldn't lay them out properly. Whereas if I go to the tile palette, which you, of course, you can't see, then I have it. Okay, but so I have the. That's so stupid. So how do I have to erase them? Okay. And then I'm curious to know if I do change my tile map and I say, okay, this is 3 by 3. If I now paint it, it is still 3 by 3. So the scaling doesn't really matter. For some reason, my tiles are just 3 by 3 big. What if I do this 10 by 10? Then also my tiles become huge. Okay, so this can just be a scale of 1 by 1. That's fine. I just need to find a way to get my tiles smaller. Create new palette. I think it is because the cell size, it is cell size automatic, and maybe that's why it does it. Border, grid size rectangle, yes, create. Yeah, I can just do this. Assets, resources, borders. I have to update this anyway because we've now okay, there definitely is something wrong with this object here. Maybe it's because it's 100 pixels per unit. That's probably going to be the case because I've made all of my I've made them all 265. Save. Okay, that seems to do it. Okay, I think that does it. These have made them all I think they were all 256 big. Yes, 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 it's working. Save. And none of this actually matters because I've discovered that I just can color them. So in the end, I only need one. and I'm just going to call it border. I'm going to call the other one fill instead of cell because now I know I have to. No, I can call it fill, I can call it cell, I can call it whatever I want. But so the border is correct. I think I also overwrote them. Yeah, this actually, I don't like it being here. I like it being on top, but yeah. So my cells, you probably can see it if I go to cells now. If I keep this open, cells, and I change this to 256. Save. Ta-da! There it shrinks to the actual size. So that one was an important step which I skipped. But it created one hell of a pattern. That's also why putting my that explains why putting my fill on top of my border gave me the issue. Because I was actually completely painting over my borders, even though I said like, yeah, but I have an alpha channel around the border. I have an alpha channel around the border. It shouldn't be the case. How come? This doesn't make any sense. Well, it does make sense. Well, it did make sense. I just didn't realize it. So normally now, if I actually go back to my system, well, I don't have to change anything. If I render it again now, because I've changed them smaller, you should see a nice checkerboard pattern. Okay, it's a pretty nice checkerboard pattern, not completely nice. I don't know what's going on here. Why it's 2, 1, 2, 1. That is a bit weird. I'm gonna put my border also back on to see if the border does something similar. The border does do something similar. Why is this still the case? This is a 6 by 6 grid, so this is really 6 by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, 12 by 12 course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. See, so these definitely are 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these are definitely, this is definitely correct. For some reason, I just seem to be still having an issue with all of them. 256, 256, 256. Max size, I don't care. Cells. Well, it shouldn't be a problem with my cells, it should be a problem with my thingy here, my sprites. I have no idea what a collider type is. Probably should look up that as well, but hey. Oh yeah, of course, and I changed it now, and oh, I thought it always said that it doesn't save anything what you change in your editor, in your view. So this is almost proper. I also see that my left, some of my border are also still missing. That's interesting. Again, this is something I can actually check out if I go to the window, to the tile palette, and I actually start painting. I just take a color and start painting. Wow, that's funky. This is okay. So this is just because I'm too far away. Because if I zoom in, then it actually does it proper. So that means my tiles are actually too, or my borders, at least my borders are too small. I'm curious to know why my cells having the same issue. If I paint with blue, green in between. Wait, maybe I'm just thinking wrong. What actually is it? Why is it that I see my checker pattern wrong? So this is, okay, don't mind the other painting. So this would be y, negative y, yeah? and this is X. So, okay, there actually isn't a problem. This is correct. How do I do a real checker pattern? Can I do X modulo Y? It's not gonna work, I think. Yeah? X modulo Y. What actually happens if I do X modulo Y? That's gonna give an ugly pattern. Really ugly. Yes, okay, so but my colors are filled properly. If I do X modulo 2 equals Y. Modulo 2, yes, that's what I was looking for. This, I think, will generate a checker pattern. I hope. And then you can see my fill colors are correct. It is the borders which are not correct. Okay, maybe there are small mistakes. This is correct. This is not correct, and that's because of the okay. We have math.apps. And this is what I was talking about. That actually this is very funky stuff. Because if you have a negative number modulo 2 is a negative number. So if you do if you do x modulo 2 of modulus 2, and you say equals 1, then that might always work because you can have negative numbers as well. Negative 1 can also be a case if you have negative 2. If you have negative 2 modulo 2 is going to be 0. That's not a problem. But if you do negative 3 modulo 2, then actually it will be negative 1. So this is a very nice checker pattern. It's just my borders, which are too small. I made my border 4 pixels. Yeah, I should have known that was not going to happen. That's not going to work. So this is a very nice pattern, if you ask me. So this will be the grid. Of course, I have to move it a bit up. But I actually think instead of, rather than moving it physically up the board, I'm going to keep my board at 0, 0, and I'm just going to move my camera to -2, -1, -1.5 is about the most I guess I can do. But I'm gonna do -1, I think. That seems best. Then I can put my tools here. And the painting tools here. I probably want to show lives here, maybe amount of moves left here. Lives? Why do we even care about lives? You don't need to go lives here. I just have to show you the amount of moves left. So maybe I actually might move this as well to like -1. So I have like a really nice border around it where I can put tools, I can put other tools here, and I can put something else here. I could keep it in the center, but then you have a more narrow border everywhere, which I think is not going to be as nice. So this makes more sense to me. So, okay. So, -1, -1, as we discussed. And then now I have to clean up a bit because I've made a big mess. So just erase all of this. I'm not sure if there's a better way to do it. There probably is, but I don't know it. The annoying thing also is like I don't even see all of my edges because that's just how it goes. Okay, I've cleaned everything. That seems okay. That seems good. Okay, but all in all, I think this was a very successful session. We were able to render the pattern. We were also able to debug a couple of things, rookie mistakes, I guess. But that's just how it goes. What else? We also discovered that we can actually just change this, and actually as just to see whether it actually works or not. I'm gonna see if I can edit the color. Fill in dot set color. So this is black, which is not correct. I do X. X, Y as R, G, B. And transparency, I assume that's alpha. Alpha should be, is alpha 0, nothing? I guess so. Are these also not floats? Yeah, they're all floats. I'm not sure why you only added a float for the other ones. That's weird because it's an integer, but that's okay. So what happens? Let's see if I can change my white color. You're probably going to see this because, I mean, like X goes from -6, which is actually not even correct. That's an invalid value. Yeah, okay. So I do math dot apps as well. I do times 10. It goes up to 6, then it's 60 to 20, then it goes up to 120, so I can do times 40. And y can also be math dot apps x y times 40. Just as proof of concept to see whether it will work or not. I probably wouldn't. Of course not. I think also because I have my transparency of 1 and 0 actually means full transparent instead of non-transparent. But it's also not going to work because I always have the exact same object here. I have the same tile object. So I'm literally just changing the color of this here, of this tile, and not of the instance. So that is hideous. You can even see it here. Look, I mean, it changes even here. Okay, so that's something I do not want to mess with. That, however, does not mean that I do want to keep multiple tiles. It just means that maybe I just have to say tile map dot set color, and then I can just say I can here do const color C. That color cannot be const. Yeah, okay. I'm still with Java in my mind. In Java, you can put everything final, because final means something different. I mean, final doesn't mean you have a really object you cannot modify at all. It just means you can't reassign the object. So we're in C++. No, not X, vector and plus. Yeah, plus is good. Just call it position for now. It's just proof of concept. See whether it works. So in C++, you also have the idea of like where if you say const, it really means you can only really call constant objects on it, so you can't modify it anymore, and those kind of things. And it's a bit weird because I don't think that in C++ you have the restriction of saying, oh, you cannot make this const. That's a bit interesting. But so, okay, so apparently this would work. So the color of a tile given in, so on the tile map, I do the exact same position. Remove the unused local variable. I think you're just a bit behind because I do use it. New expression can be simplified. Wow, that's funky. Remove the unused local variable pos. I'm pretty sure it is used, so my Visual Studio Code is just not updated. Now it's updated. Okay, so the color does not update for some reason. It does not work. Tilemap set color at the position does not work. I set a tile to the fill. I set a color. What if we just do not do this and just set color? This will probably, well, it will probably work. It will just fill the entire thingy, and so it will overwrite my. No, that does not work. Wait. Did not save it. Did I save it last time? Will this work? No, that does not work. That's just empty. There's nothing now. What if I do this again? Render again. Okay, but this actually does kind of mean that I do need to have multiple or different sprites because this just doesn't seem to work. Down upset color does not work. That's annoying. That's really annoying. I was hoping this would really be nice and easy and I could just skip one set of sprites and that's it. Count okay. The border I set every this I set, yeah. Wait a second. I'm looking some stuff up and I see that there is the option to lock the color. Uh, I don't have that option. Well, I do have a color here. That's of the whole tile map, I guess. Sprite default. This is all expanded, so that's not. Yeah, no. I don't know where they're looking at. This grid selection. I don't even have that. Grid layout. Sounds visual XYZ. Yeah, no. Okay, so it doesn't work. What does it say? Set color. Sets the color of a tile given the XYZ coordinate of a cell in the tile map. Refer to scriptable tiles and tile map for more information. Okay. Set to white the default. But this is the position with a tint. With a tint. So this I think is like the same if you would. Okay, let's render this and then we're gonna edit it. So this is some funky stuff. If I change the color here, then it will apply a tint, as you can see. And that's basically what I want to do, but then only for a single tile. I want to, for instance, say like, on this position, I want to have a tint of this one. On this one, yeah, okay, don't keep it, please. And white, then it doesn't do anything. Because it's a tint, it applies on top of it. But for some reason, this does not work. Map.set color. Sets the color of a tile given the XYZ coordinate of a cell in the tile map. Yeah. I don't understand why it not doesn't work, unless of course there's something off with my calculation. It's RGB, so it should be. It worked before because it started becoming yellow, so it should just work. By doing this, it also means that the black one. Well, black doesn't change, of course, because of tint. That's a fact. Yeah. We don't really know why this does not work. If I see something in my console, maybe the console will give me information. Nope, console is just still only this one, which I really don't need. What if I make this fixed and I just make it 255 0, 0. So this will become red. A complete red fade on it. What does it do? Doesn't do anything. So my tilemap set color does not work. The position should be correct. Aha, you have to refresh the tile for the color to update. Alternatively, you can change the color of the tile before setting it. Oh, really? The problem is I have to be careful with doing this because this one will also update my border. And that does not work. Tilemap. Refresh. Also make sure the alpha of your color is 1. The alpha of my color is 1. That may also be an issue. I'll apologize when you get this wrong, but space is the refresh tile after. When a tile is added to a tile map or refreshed, it first runs get tile data, then get tile animator, and then start up. So if you set a color on the map and then refresh the tile, the color is override. So my best show me to remove the refresh. So, maybe indeed I do have to set a color after it. But I just have to refresh it afterwards even more. Nope, doesn't do anything. It should all be red. Now it should be even worse. Okay, so set color doesn't seem to work for me. Maybe there's another one in Boolean. Ignore lock flags. True. Then taking 3 arguments. 1 overload. Yeah, okay. I want to see the overload, please. Give me the other one. No. Okay, so that's something I might have to look into. But okay, that will for you next time. See you next time. Bye.